If you're in need of a camera that's going to elevate your content to the next level, then stay tuned, because in this video, I'm going to be comparing the Sony a6400 that I have and the Sony ZV-1F. So I can basically just help you guys make the decision and just sit down and say, okay, which camera am I actually going to get? Especially if you're a beginner content creator and this is your first time getting a camera and you're confused on like, okay, what am I going to get? Because there's so many cameras on the market nowadays. A lot of times when you start out, you film videos on your iPhone, then you want to just like transition and go to the camera. So I hope this video will be very helpful to you. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sia. I post videos for beginner content creators. So if you want to see anything that has to do with product reviews that is like simplified to like the lowest level, then my channel is going to be for you. I also post tutorials on like different editing software and anything that has to do with like creating amazing content. So if this is something that you're interested in, I will definitely say go ahead and subscribe, turn on your post notification so you never miss a video. Check out my previous videos that I do have on my channel. But for now, let's just dive into this video. So I already have a Sony ZV-1F review on my channel. I have multiple videos on my channel actually about this camera. So this video is really just to like help you guys out when it comes to, okay, do I want a compact camera or do I want a camera that I'm going to grow with? So this camera, I've said it before and I'll say it again, this is a very compact camera. So this is a camera that you can start out with, especially if you do more vlogging videos. This will be the camera for you. This camera is less intimidating. This camera can fit in your pocket. If you're someone who travels around with very small handbags or just like, you know, small crossbody bags or small fanny packs and stuff like that, you're not really into having big bags, big backpacks, this will be the camera for you. Like I said, this can literally fit in your pocket. So you don't even need a bag, to be honest. The only reason why you might need a bag is if you obviously have like a little tripod that you're gonna have to connect and just like do your vlogs and stuff like that. But other than that, you just need a nice small bag and you're good to go. When you're out in public filming with this camera, it is so less intimidating. You know, you don't feel like you have anything bulky in your hands. Now, when it comes to the Sony a6400, this is actually the first camera that I did invest in when it comes to content creation. I have used this camera for vlogs. I have used it for sit down videos, family videos, etc, etc. So this is my first baby right here, which I'm actually really surprised why I did not like start doing videos on this camera. But I was just like very excited to get this vlogging camera because I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to vlogging, I was very intimidated to pull out this camera in public. If I show you guys the lens that I have, you will get where I'm coming from. So the reason why I got this camera first instead of maybe getting a vlogging camera like the one that I have now is because this is a camera that you can grow with. You can change the lens on this camera. This is really good for like beginner slash mid entry level photography. If you're not like on the professional side where you need to get a very expensive camera or a more heavier camera, you can get this. This takes amazing photos. You just need to know what type of lens to get to make your videos and your pictures even more amazing. So if someone out there asks me like, Sia, what camera do I need to get when it comes to vlogging? Like all I need is just something that I can vlog with. I don't really do too much. I would definitely say, okay, just get the Sony ZV-1F. But if you're like, I want to do vlogs, I want to do sit down videos, I want a camera that I'm going to grow with the next couple of years, I don't want to spend money on a camera, none of that, I will say get the Sony a6400. This is a camera that you're going to grow with. You just have to invest in a really good lens, and maybe just upgrading your lens is the only thing that you're gonna have to do, unless you get to a place where you're like, okay, this is just too big for me like I did, and you want to get a smaller camera. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about on both cameras is the record buttons that it has. So on the Sony a6400, you have two places that you can click record from. So you have one on the side over here, and you also have one in front of you. The one on the side over here, it's in a very uncomfortable position, to be honest. I feel like you kind of have to move your hands in a way where, for me personally, it's not comfortable. I feel like I'm gonna drop the camera if I try using this. So I just use the one over here because you can like grip the camera, you can hold it really nice and tight and press record. Maybe this one, if your camera is on like a tripod and you're trying to take videos outside or you're trying to take pictures, then yeah, it'll be easier for you to just like have it on a tripod and click record. Okay, it's right there on the side. I don't know why they have it over there, but this one over here is more comfortable, and I feel like even when you're trying to take a picture, this is definitely more comfortable. Now on the Sony ZV-1F, you just have one. It's red right there, or you can actually press record on the screen. So this camera is touch screen screen, which we're going to come to that. But the only button that it does have on the camera is here. Or like I said, you can just press record on the screen and that's it. Now let's move on to the screen on the camera. This is definitely one of the most important things I want you guys to know. The screen on the Sony a6400 flips up and the screen on the Sony ZV-1F flips to the side, and you can also rotate it. So if you're vlogging, you can see yourself, which is really cool. Now let's talk about the con of having the flip up screen on the Sony a6400 that I personally do not like is if you have an external microphone. I have one in front of me right here. This is the Rode microphone. Now the thing about the screen is the stuff is right there. So when you do put the microphone, and let's say you have your camera on a tripod and you're trying to record, you cannot see yourself on the screen because the microphone is now blocking the screen, as you guys can see. So the only way for you to actually enjoy the screen and also enjoy using your camera with the microphone is you have to get something from Amazon that's gonna shift it to the side over here, and you just clip it in here all the way inside. So now I'm able to use my microphone on this side instead, and then I can flip up the screen. Now I can use my screen and also use my microphone. So this is basically how I use the camera. But if you just want to use the place that it comes with for you to put your microphone, it's not gonna work unless you have like an external screen that you're gonna use. Then yeah, that might help you out. Also, the viewfinder over here is so bulky that when I try putting in the Rode microphone, I kind of have to like wiggle it in so I can like fit it inside. It's not like a really big deal, to be honest, but if you have a microphone that just has something very bulky, you might not be able to get it in. So you kind of have to get something that you can easily just fit inside. Or like I said, you can get something like this from Amazon, fix it into the camera so your microphone is on the side. I feel like you're gonna have to get this anyway, because if you're vlogging, you do want to see yourself on the screen. So your microphone, you need to have it on the side. Unless you just want to use the internal microphone on the camera, you don't want to get anything extra. But again, if you're vlogging, you want to have an external microphone because the wind and everything outside, you don't want anything that's going to disrupt your sound or just make you sound really bad when you like edit your videos and you're ready to post it. But for the Sony ZV-1F, you don't really have that problem because the screen is on the side. You can just fix your microphone right there and just connect it on the side over here, and you can just take your video. You can just vlog and you're good. I really wish they did the same thing for the Sony a6400, but it is what it is. It's still a very good camera, so yeah. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the viewfinder. I just kind of talked about it a little bit in the previous thing that I said, but the Sony a6400 does have a viewfinder. So if you're taking pictures and you want to like see your subject and take the picture, or to be honest, you can just like look on the screen and see it anyway, but it does have it, which just basically tells you that this is more on like the professional side than like you having the Sony ZV-1F. The Sony ZV-1F, there's no viewfinder, so you can still take amazing pictures with this. You take more amazing photos with this one. So this is not like for professional people, none of that. This is, like I said, it's mostly, you know, good for vlogging, for beginner content creators. This camera is really good for that. For this camera, you're gonna have to grow with it and learn so many things about it. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna talk about is fixed lens versus interchangeable lens. So for the Sony a6400, you can change the lens. This is what it looks like when you buy the camera without a lens. So it comes like this, just the body, that's it. And then you can buy the lens that you wish to, or you can get the kit lens, which when we got the kit lens, it came with this one over here. So yeah, you can take off this cover and just fix it. So this lens makes it even more heavier. When I used to vlog, I used to hate it, because this lens also zooms you into the camera and you feel like everyone can see every acne you have on your face, and I'm just like, what the hell? So later on, we did get this lens over here. This is more of like a wide angle. It makes your video really nice and wide. So if you're vlogging and you have multiple people in your videos, it's really easy for like people to see those other people. But with this other lens, you kind of have to move far away from the camera for it to maybe catch everyone that you have around you. If I'm using my Sony a6400 to vlog, I like to use this one. For my sit down videos, I use this lens on the camera, put it on my tripod. So yeah, this is the lens that I use to record all my sit down videos that you guys like to watch. But the Sony ZV-1F does have fixed lens. You cannot change it. You cannot take this off. All you can do really when it comes to this camera is just change your settings. Do you want to record in auto, manual, all these things, and change your ISO, all that. Okay, so now let's talk about touch screens on both cameras. The Sony ZV-1F does have a touch screen, so anything you want want to do on the screen, it's touch screen. Now for the Sony a6400, it does not have touch screen. What it has is touch tracking. So you can go to settings and turn that on, where you basically touch the screen to like make the camera focus on your face. But when it comes to you going to menu and trying to like do things on the screen and you're trying to touch it, it does not have touch screen. And the next thing is the weight of the camera. I think I kind of already talked about it for the Sony a6400. This camera is on the heavier side, while the Sony ZV-1F is super light, super compact. I've said this multiple times, very, very light. Okay, even when you do have it on your hand, it's nothing. With this, when you do add the lens to it, especially the one that I use for my sit down videos, if you have a bigger lens, it makes it even more heavier. And if you do add more accessories on it, it adds to the weight. Now let's talk about the flash. This camera does have a flash, so you can take really good, amazing photos. You know, if you're out and you're in a really dark place, you can use it. I have never used the flash, so I can't sit here and tell you guys how good and amazing the flash is, but it's still good for you guys to know that it does have a flash. The Sony ZV-1F does not have a flash. So now let's talk about how you can charge both cameras, what type of cable you need. So for this camera, the Sony a6400, you need a micro USB, and this is basically where you charge it. So anything that you need to connect is on the left side of the camera. And for the Sony ZV-1F, one of the things that I was very, very excited for, this is a USB-C. We know a lot of things nowadays, you use a USB-C. If you have a MacBook, if you have an iPad Pro, a lot of things nowadays are using USB-C. So I already have like a couple of those chargers at home. So when this came and I found out you can use a USB-C to charge it, I was so excited. And on this camera, anything that has to do with you connecting stuff to it is on the right side. So on the Sony ZV-1F on the right side, and on the Sony a6400 on the left side. Also, I should mention that you can connect a HDMI to both cameras. Now let's talk about the memory card and the battery location. So they're both located on the right side of the camera underneath, and wherever you need to connect a tripod to the camera is located like a little bit far away from where you have to put the memory card and the battery. The reason why this is so necessary for you guys to know is you can have any of the cameras connected to a tripod and you can still change your battery and change your SD card, or just take out the SD card and transfer whatever you want to transfer without you taking off the tripod and going through the whole thing. Okay, so now let's talk about the grip on the camera. This camera has a really nice grip. So if you're taking pictures, just hold it right there. You know, you're taking your pictures, you're looking in your viewfinder, all that. So even though it's a little bit heavy, it's still very comfortable for you to hold. And I think the reason why they designed this camera that way with really amazing grip is it's heavy. So it makes sense for it to have this amazing grip where it's not going to fall from your hands, none of that. Now with the Sony ZV-1F, you have no grip on this camera at all. So the only thing you have to rely on, it has like a little bump over here. It just doesn't work out. So if you connect your tripod to it, that's really all you have to hold on to. Okay, so and the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to external features on the cameras is it has a lot of buttons for you. So there's some up here, there's like a zoom on the Sony ZV-1F, there's record over here, somewhere where you can change, you know, your settings to like a slow-mo, your on and off is right there, and menu, all the things that you need basically. And same thing for the Sony a6400. So it has this dial over here where you can change your stuff to manual, video, S&Q, auto. You can turn on and off, you can record. Now we're going to get into part 2, which is like the internal stuff that I know a lot of like beginner content creators want to know about. And the first thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to the technical aspect is they both have built-in Wi-Fi, which means you're able to transfer your photos and your videos to your iPhone, your iPad, etc. Also, when it comes to low light situations, both cameras are really good on that. The fixed lens that comes with this camera goes down to like a 2.0. For this camera, it depends to the lens that you have on the camera. So when I use this lens on this camera, it is really bad for me to film in low light situations. If I film a video with this lens and this camera, and if I film the same video on my Sony ZV-1F, you're definitely going to think this camera is way more better and way more professional than this camera. And that just goes to show you the type of lens that you do have on your camera does play a huge role in your videos or your pictures and all that. So like I said, this one goes down to a 2.0. This lens goes all the way down to like a 3 point something. So the lens that you have plays a huge role in the outcome of your video. Also, both of the cameras have internal microphones, so you don't necessarily need an external microphone if you're recording indoors. I feel like when you're recording outdoors, for sure, you do want something that helps you out, because if you're in a very noisy area and you do want to take videos, you want to vlog, you know, sometimes maybe the wind and all that, and when you get external microphones, some of them come with this, so it does help you like block out the noise that you might not want people to hear when they're watching your video. So the internal microphone for the Sony a6400 is located right here. You see like two holes right there, and for the Sony ZV-1F, it's right there. So another technical aspect is you can record 4K videos on both cameras, and also you do have picture profile on both the Sony a6400 and the Sony ZV-1F. Now the last thing we're going to talk about and close out this video is image stabilization. Both of these cameras, you do not have image stabilization on both cameras. The only camera that I do own that does have image stabilization is a GoPro. So if you're an outdoorsy person, a GoPro will be for you. If you want to record videos with these cameras outdoors, you have to make sure you have them on a tripod and make sure you have really steady hands. If not, your video is just going to be looking crazy. Also, another thing you guys can invest in is a gimbal. Now this one is meant for my iPhone, but they also do have ones that you can get for your camera. It is a little bit expensive, you know, you're gonna have to spend a little bit of money, but that just comes with you being a content creator. You have to sit down and just write down a couple of things that you're gonna need to get and just get it. So that is all for today's video. Also, let me mention that this video was actually recorded with my iPhone 13 Pro. Sometimes people ask about videos recorded with my iPhone, so here you go. This video was recorded with my iPhone because, you know, I needed the cameras to show you guys exactly what I was talking about. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, turn on your post notification. I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.